how I achieved 39 consecutive pull-ups. So recently I took part in Brisbane's World Pull-Up Day and I took first place for a second year running, getting 39 pull-ups in a row, which is a new personal best. So in this video I want to reflect and break down how I managed to increase my pull-up number to 39 and I hope you find it useful. So I've looked over my training diary and there are three main takeaways for me. 1. Time and experience. 2. Modifying training pre-competition. And 3. Meditation. Time and experience. I can't come out and say I was only able to do 10 pull-ups and I managed to train myself to do 39. That's not entirely true because my baseline has always been pretty good. I think my baseline about a year ago, before I started all this rep stuff, was 25 pull-ups. And that's just because as a kid I had a pull-up bar in my door frame. It was always there. And even though I wasn't consistently training pull-ups, I was still hanging on the bar, doing reps here and there. And I think that's just added up over the years to make me good at pull-ups now. And then for the past year, since doing my first pull-up competition and winning, you can see that video just up here, I've basically fallen in love with the reps. So I've just increased the amount of reps training that I've done in my overall training. Before I used to just train for skills and tricks, but I learned to love the reps. And I still train for skills and tricks, but now I have more variety in my training across all the domains of calisthenics and also other stuff. So number 2, modifying my training pre-competition. Last year, 1 month before the competition, I made myself the goal of doing 1,000 pull-ups in a month. This year, I didn't think I had enough time to do 1,000 pull-ups because I was going away on holiday for a week. So I just wanted to increase the training volume with no particular goal in mind. And then I had 3 main training methods which I used in the month leading up to competition. So the first one was EMOM. Now EMOM is one of my favorite types of training. EMOM stands for every minute on the minute. And basically it's where you perform an exercise at the start of each minute, every minute. So for example, if you're doing pull-ups and say you could do 5 pull-ups, you do 5 pull-ups at the start of the minute, then you do 5 pull-ups at the start of the second minute, then you do 5 pull-ups at the start of the third minute, and so on. And the rest you get is dependent on how long it takes you to finish the set. So if you finish the set in 10 seconds, you get 50 seconds rest. The reason I love this style of training is because you have the timer, it keeps you focused and you can't get distracted. You have to constantly be paying attention to the time. It's also a really efficient way to work out. You can get a really good workout in as little as 10 minutes and you're not faffing around resting or doing other things or being distracted by your phone. You just focus, get your workout done and you can go. So I often like to do EMOM supersetting a push and pull movement. So I'd often do an alternating EMOM, for example with pull-ups and dips. I would do 10 pull-ups, then 20 dips, 10 pull-ups, and then 20 dips, alternating every minute on the minute. And I quite like this method of training because you are constantly moving, but you get to rest your opposing muscle groups. Another training method that I used was lightweight or band resisted pull-ups. Often as a standalone, but sometimes doing it with EMOM. So one of my favorite ones is just using a light plate. Maximum I would use is 5-6 kilos, just tied around the waist. We're keeping the weight light because we're training for endurance, not strength. The good thing about doing the light weighted pulls is whatever pull-up number you can do with a 5 kilo plate, as soon as you remove that plate and you've got 0 kilos, you know that you can probably do another 5 to 10 reps. Another variation on this is the band resisted pull-up. So you often see people at the gym who are using bands to assist their pull-ups, but if you're more experienced, you can tie the band to your waist, tie the band to something on the floor, either a heavy weight or something locked in, and use it to resist your pull-ups. The benefit of doing pull-ups like this is it makes the top part of the movement harder. So as you get to the top, you're squeezing. And this is often part of the movement that people fatigue soonest. They struggle to get their chin over the bar when they're getting tired. So it's really useful to train this part of the movement. The last training technique I had was the dead hang. So I think often one of the most overlooked part of pull-up endurance training is your grip training. Obviously it depends on the type of competition that you're doing, but if you can grip the bar for as long as possible, you could theoretically could do as many pull-ups as you want. For example, have a look at this video of this guy doing 100 pull-ups. I think he does it in roughly 10 minutes. But he's resting between reps. He just has insane grip endurance, so he can just hang onto the bar essentially forever. My dead hang training would usually come at the end of the session, where I would hang on the bar for as long as I could. Then I'd start doing sets and sets of dead hang. So I'd do 1 minute on, 2 minutes off, and just repeat that for as long as I could. I also tried doing dead hangs, followed by going straight into a set of pull-ups. Those are killer. So they are the main physical training methods I use to increase my pull-up number. But there's something else I want to talk about as well, and that is my mental training method. As I mentioned earlier, meditation is a huge part of my life, and I didn't start meditation to increase the number of pull-ups I could do. I started meditation because I was stressed and unfocused at work. There are numerous studies about the benefits of meditation in mental health, but not much looks into meditation on physical performance. And I can only comment on my own personal experience with physical performance, and I see it as a nice little side bonus of the meditation practice. So if you don't know, I started meditating about 4 years ago using an app called Headspace, just doing 10 minutes a day with Andrew Puddicombe, one of the app's founders. Then by chance, as I was traveling across Asia for 6 months, I did 2 Vipassana retreats. There are 10-day silent retreats where you're taught to meditate, and it's accessible to most people around the world. There's centres across the world, and I'll leave a link down below to the website which can direct you to the closest centre. So Vipassana literally means to see things as they really are, and it's one of India's most ancient meditation techniques. I won't go into it too much in this video, but essentially the essence of the meditation is to observe physical sensations in the body non-judgmentally, accepting them as they are. Now that sounds easy in theory, but in reality, when you're sitting for 10 hours a day in cross-legged position on the floor, it's somewhat excruciating. But with time and focused attention, you can learn to accept these sensations and just be with them as they are. Fast forward 2 years later, and I'm still meditating daily. And that's not to improve my calisthenics, but to give me more focus, joy and clarity in my day-to-day life. However, when I'm on that bar on my 35th pull-up, my hands, my arms and my back are on fire, and my body's just screaming to let go of the bar. I just stay focused, accepting the sensations as they are, knowing that I'm not letting go of that bar unless my fingers physically cannot hold me any longer. Okay guys, that's the end of the video, and thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of the video. Let me know in the comments below if you're trying to increase your pull-up number, or if you're going to implement any of the training methods that you learnt today in your training routine. As you know, I haven't posted a video in a while, but I'm trying to get more consistent with the videos again. So any feedback is always happily received. Negative, positive, but just constructive is always useful. Don't really know where I'm going with this channel, so it'll be useful to get some feedback, see what people like, what people need, and I can hopefully provide more of that. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.